Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Marina, and today is a hot topic. I'm talking about how you can land a Catholic girl. Get your future spouse, make it happen for yourself. I am giving you the inside scoop and giving you all the information I've learned over the years of being in the Catholic dating pool to hopefully help you guys out, to give you a leg up, because I know it's tough out there. It's tough for us, it's tough for you. It's an interesting dating climate being online in 2025, being in person. The dynamics are funky across the board. That is the word on the street. So I'm trying to help you guys out. So this video is just based on my personal experience and conversations over the last 10 years and yeah, maybe some tidbits and advice that you haven't heard and that might be helpful in your journey in finding your spouse. Because I know it's tough to navigate. It's tough to read women's minds. I mean, we can't even read each other's minds, let's be honest. So I'm peeling back the curtain and giving you guys an inside scoop on what we're saying, what we're looking for, the do's and don'ts, to try to help you guys out and help more people find their spouse because the world needs more Catholic holy marriages, so I'm here to help. So if that interests you, take a seat and let's get into it. Okay, so in case this isn't clear, this is based off of my experience and conversations in my 10 years of being a Catholic woman who's single, trying to date in the Catholic world. So this is based off of hearing from friends, talking to people, and my personal experience. So I speak off of experience, and this is my experience and the people that I know. So it might be different for other people, but hopefully just gives some general more guidance and insight and proves to be helpful. I would love to know. Come back in a year and let me know if you found your person based off of my advice. That would make me happy and make me feel like this time that I spent putting into this video was worth it. But anywho, just a little disclaimer of where all this information is coming from. But as far as getting started, I think it's first important to establish what you're looking for and what you hope for in your future marriage. You're all Catholic here, I'm assuming. So if you're Catholic, you are looking for your vocation, a lifelong committed relationship that involves children. And with that, there are many ways that can look. And I think understanding and knowing what you're looking for that future relationship is important to kind of guide you through the dating process and to make it better for everyone who is involved. So some key things to think about are lifestyle. I know there's a bunch of different Catholic outlooks on what a good marriage looks like in 2025. Some people want a more traditional route where the wife is at home and the husband is the protector and provider, and the woman isn't working, she is with the kids, raising them, and that is beautiful and good. But there's also Catholic girlies out there who are career women, who have missions in the workplace, and who aren't going to want to give that up, but still want to be married and have a holy and happy marriage. And so you need to know for yourself what you are comfortable with, what you want your future family to be, the dynamics. And that'll help you when talking to different women on dates. It'll become clear quickly what will work, what won't for you and your preferences and your goals. So I think it's important to establish that off the bat. I know it's easy to just like get dragged into dating without even thinking about these things, and you kind of just find yourself going on dates. So it's good to think about these things. Other things to think about: are you an active person? Do you like to travel? Do you like to be involved? Do you like to do a lot of things? So you want someone who aligns with your lifestyle. Are you a healthy person? Are you super health conscious, or are you more laid back and chill? Do you like to just stay at home in the countryside and do more inside introverted things? There's so many different spectrums of interests and lifestyles and hopes and dreams for your life. So I think it's important to nail that down first, and then you can go from there. Okay, another one is make sure you're ready. I know the saying is you never are really ready, and that is true. I think in life and most things, you kind of just have to do the thing, and you'll learn as you go, and you'll figure it out. But when it comes to approaching dating, being ready is the mindset. It's more of a mindset than like actually feeling ready to get married. You're not getting married right off the bat. Feeling ready to date equals you're willing to put the energy in, you have the capacity. I think some people teeter the line, one foot in, one foot out, where they're entertaining dating and they like the idea of giving girls attention and having their attention, but they don't go through with the actual functions of dating and discerning their vocation. And that's fine if you aren't in a place yet to date. That's totally chill. Like if you want to enjoy your early 20s and have fun and get your career settled and focus on that, that makes sense. It makes sense. Not everyone's ready. It's, entering into your vocation is letting go of your single ways of life, and that is a thing that's hard to part with. So live it up if you want for a little while, but just don't be confusing to the women who are looking for something to settle down and to enter into a serious relationship. So like don't flirt and lead people on and send mixed messages just because you're not ready or you don't know what you want. I think if you're not ready, you shouldn't be entertaining or leading women on in that way. I think you should do your thing, and when you're ready, then you need to be intentional about dating and not give mixed messages. I think you need to be sure of where you're at with yourself, and I think it'll make a more positive experience all around for less frustration for women who then are bitter, who then are harder to approach and, are harder to date because they've had such annoying experiences. Yeah, I talk about this more in another video that I'll link below on my observations and the different types of dating and experiences as a Catholic person in the Catholic community, because I have seen that a lot where people are kind of half in, half out. You need to decide what side of the coin you're on. There's no in between, and go from there. As far as what we're looking for, once you know you're ready to date, what are we looking for? How can you present yourself as a single man looking to date? This is a great question and probably confusing on your end. I don't know. But from our perspective, here is an important thing that might be a hot take, but it's just the facts. It's just the nature of human existence and the male and female dynamic. We look at attraction. Attraction, not meaning that you have to be a 10 out of 10, but that we are attracted to you. We are drawn to you. And this equals a handful of things. It includes character, personality, appearance, and confidence. Now, you'd be like, oh my gosh, appearance, eye roll. I get it. I think people, Catholics who are virtuous, maybe might think caring about your appearance and what you look like could be considered vanity. And it can in some cases. But I think there's facts, and the facts are when you are in the dating circle, when you're out there trying to meet someone, you are judging people off their appearance. It is what it is. You quickly come to conclusions based off of how someone presents themselves. Dating, unfortunately, or fortunately, is similar to looking for a job and interviewing. So when you go to a job interview, you want to present yourself in the best way possible. You want to come off professional, competent, put together. You're asking questions as you would on a date. It's all very similar. So think about it this way: when you're meeting someone out in the wild or anywhere, honestly, when you're single, your dating pool is everywhere. Even if you're Catholic, you never know. And if you're living your faith, you're running into Catholics on the street and in your daily life. So you always have to be ready. So you always have to be presenting yourself as if you're going into an interview. Of course, in an interview, you're wearing business clothes, but when you're in the dating scene, it's going to be more of just a representation of yourself. Right? And you wear professional clothes to come off as professional. Well, if you're looking to date someone, you want to present yourself as put together, established, confident, attractive in that you take care of yourself. Right? Like physical attractiveness is more just nods at you take care of yourself, yeah, that you have your ducks in a row just based off of appearances. People jump to conclusions just based off of looks. It's a fact of life. So appearance, yes, what goes into that? Being fit is one thing that women look for. And yes, being obsessed with the gym you could fall into the pool of being vain, but it signals something deeper. Going to the gym signals that you care about your body, that you take care of yourself and that you have discipline. And taking care of your body means that you're thinking about the future. You're thinking about how you want to be on this earth as long as possible. You want to be a healthy person down the line. It's not just about appearances. So there's that. I think it can become vain just as anything can become sinful, but it is not objectively evil to take care of your body or to look fit. I think women see, okay, yes, it's objectively more attractive to be built and to be muscular, but it's also signaling a deeper lifestyle and outlook and forethought, that you care about your body, that you respect your body, that you are thinking about your well-being, which then signals someone's going to be around for the long haul and, is thinking about how it's important to be healthy and you are taking care of the temple the Lord gave you. So I think it oftentimes, as Catholics, can be seen as vain to take care of yourself. But I think ultimately it honors God. It honors the body that He gave us. We're being good stewards of what we've been given and are trying to make the most of our lives. And I think that's important. And for any of you who don't go to the gym, aren't familiar, are intimidated, maybe don't know where to start, we live in 2025, people. So Google's your best friend. YouTube, there's so many tutorials. There are personal trainers you can hire to help you just get your feet wet. You don't have to go crazy and be a gym rat. I think, of course, there's always extremes. For some people, it's enjoyable and it's a hobby. Maybe you'll come to love it. I personally hate the gym. I go because I know it's good for my body and it's a good practice of discipline. So I feel you if you hate the gym. I don't love it, but I do it because, yeah, I want to take care of my body. I want to be a healthy mother and be able to take care of my children, to be present on this earth as long as possible for the people I love. And I want to prevent, avoidable diseases later in my life because I am taking care of my body now. So, yeah, I feel you if it's intimidating. I didn't grow up like playing competitive sports where we were taught how to work out and had to teach myself online. And you know what? There's so many resources and it's never too late to start. And I hope this is a little encouragement if maybe you've been thinking about it. It also gives you confidence when you feel good and look good. And I think that really will help you in your dating journey as well. So besides the gym, what else can help with your appearance? I think getting a good haircut, style is huge. I'm not saying you have to go out there and spend tons of money on clothes or, become a fashionista. I don't know, what's the male term? Is it still fashionista? But for some people, style is a creative outlet. If you're creative and you want a new outlet, try fashion. You don't have to, in fashion, you don't have to think about I don't know, crazy outfits, but even just putting together a nice outfit, like some shoes you really love that work with all your pants, some basic tees, maybe your haircut, like just your whole look. Create a vibe that really resonates with you and your identity and who you are and what you enjoy. And that is like a billboard for what you're about when you are out and about meeting women. I think dressing to what suits your personality and your interests is an easy way to sell yourself more to the right person, to connect with the right person. Like if you're more of a hipster guy, you like books and you're an intellectual, maybe more philosophical, there's a vibe to that, as far as physical appearance and dressing. So that's something to think about. Yes, there's stereotypes of people dressing a certain way and then fitting into a certain mindset and personality group, but I think you can play that to your advantage, right, in dating. If you show up as a hipster because that's your vibe and dress that way, right, I think that's cool. And if you're more of a gym rat, you wear more gym sporty clothes, if sports and you're a jock, that's your vibe, totally. And then that'll attract the kinds of women that are into that. So I think it seems superficial, but in a world where you know, like first impressions are everything and people judge books by their cover. and jump to conclusions, I think use that to your advantage, you know? And of course, dress true to you. I think that's part of it. Like, don't try to be someone you're not. But there's so many resources again online for curating a simple wardrobe that works, that's simple and stylish. It doesn't have to be crazy fashion forward or trendy. It just needs to work for your age and for your personality and your vibe. I think it also gives you confidence. So if you struggle with confidence, that might be something else. Because to look in the mirror and feel like, wow, I feel like I look put together, it like mentally gets you in a really good place. Okay, and then another thing that we find attractive besides physical appearance, working out, and how you present yourself in dressing and hair, um, and grooming, all those things are important. Say personality and character, those shine through. You know, I would say like I'm attracted to not just someone's looks, but to their whole vibe, right? All these things come together to equal a person. And I think it gives off a certain vibe. Like if you're a charismatic person, that really comes through. But be true to your personality. If you're more quiet, but like interesting conversationalist in a smaller setting, like lean into that. You know, don't go to big groups, maybe go to smaller gatherings, maybe, you know, try to be in the corner talking to a few people. Like lean into your personality, and I think that will speak volumes, and that different people are into different types of personalities, and the right girl will find yours attractive. And I think character, being a Catholic, being people who pursue virtue, I think having your character shine through is huge and is attractive. Someone who has great character is very attractive. I'm not saying go and get yourself a new character, but think about how you present yourself, how you interact and move through the world. Virtue is very attractive to Catholic women. Holiness is hot, okay? It is. It's hot. Seeing someone in adoration, seeing them at church, and then you run into them at a Catholic event. It's like, oh, I've seen him at church, I've seen him at adoration. Like, pursue Jesus, and that's attractive. And then how you treat people, all of that speaks to your character and who you are in your heart. And if you want a holy Catholic woman, those things are hot, okay? The looks and like working out, those are like bonuses and help with the initial presentation. But if you're like pursuing Jesus hardcore and treat people with love, and that goes a long way. So I'm sure a lot of you are doing these things already, and I just want you to say we notice, and that is attractive. Okay, so now that you know what we're looking for as far as physical appearance and first impressions, here is some things you can do when you go about dating that will give you lots of bonus points and brownie points. Okay, so to start out, intentionality. And I think this just speaks to Christian character and virtue. And as I've said before, knowing you're ready, intentionality is huge. It's, you know, no one likes their time wasted. No one likes to be confused, especially when Catholic women are more serious about finding their spouse, right? It's a vocation. It's not just like casual dating. We don't really do that here. If you're new to the Catholic world, casual dating is not really something we're about. So being intentional, not wasting women's time, being clear with your intentions. And I think with that is great communication. But as far as intentionality, you know, obviously confidence is important. But cut straight to the chase, no games here. Just ask the girl out. You know, I think a lot of Catholics really um, make dating a bigger deal than it is. And it's important, obviously, for discerning our vocation. But like, you go on 2 dates, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. Like, we're adults, we can all be normal and civil. I've seen it happen. I've been part of situations that ended a totally normal and agreeable, and we're still friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's not serious until it's like months in. So If you're interested in a girl, a woman, don't waste time waiting to ask her out. Just ask her out and be straight up about it. Don't be weird with your verbiage. Like, let's hang out. I'd love to spend some time doing something with you. Like, be clear. Be like, I'd love to take you on a date sometime. Really enjoyed talking to you. So simple. Use the word date and be like, when are you free? Follow up with when are you free if she says yes. And then be like, and then follow up, be like, okay, I will find a time and a place and I will let you know. And then you let her know the time and the place and you have a plan. Now, first dates, it should just be like coffee or a drink, especially if you just met her. Nothing serious, simple. And then after the first date, if you're interested in seeing her again, and again with the communication, I had such a great time. I'd love to see you again. Is there a time you're free next week? And if you're not interested, please don't ghost. Please just say, it was great getting to know you. I appreciate you taking the time. I don't think our connection is romantic, but I would love to still be friends, blah, blah, blah. You know, the spiel. But just communicate. Don't leave her hanging. Don't leave her confused after the first date if you're not into it. If you need a day to think about it, totally. I get it. But just be clear and intentional and have a plan, because that is a frustrating point. You know, you're going to get brownie points if you have a plan. You're already going to have her in a spot where she's open and she's going to give you a chance if you have a plan, because 50% of guys don't. So if you do, you're already like in the green zone. You're already getting brownie points. Like, there's little things you can do that already like give you a leg up. And just be really clear with the plan. Like, okay, I have a reservation for dinner here at 6. See you then. And if you want her input, these are the 2 places I'm thinking. What do you think? And then have a reservation. You don't want her to show up and then they're like, oh, you have to wait an hour for dinner. Think ahead. Have a plan. So yeah, be intentional, be on top of the dates, clear communication. And as far as communication, yeah, you just want her to not be confused about what's happening. If you're interested, make it clear. You're an adult, you can communicate that. It's not middle school. Like, you're just going on a date. It's not serious. It's not that deep. And then once you go on a few dates and like, you know, it's been a few weeks, maybe going out, like make sure you're the one leading the conversation about what's next. Like, oh, like taking things more serious, having the talk about being official, being exclusive, like make it clear what's happening. Yeah. You don't want it to be like this weird situationship of what's going on. Be clear. And something to think about is you don't want to come on too strong. I know being Catholic, right? We want to get married. We're looking for our vocation, which is big stuff. It's big stuff. It's lifelong. But we aren't in a job interview is the fact of the matter. And so peppering her with like super intense questions on a first date is not the vibe. It just kills the mood. Dating should be fun. Yes, it's about finding your spouse, but it's also about finding your best friend and your partner, and you should be enjoying each other in your relationship, you know, for the rest of your life if this is the right person. So I think just having that baseline, do we enjoy each other, is really important to figure out first before going super deep into the, so are you wanting to be a stay-at-home mom? Okay. How do you feel about vaccines? What are your political views? You don't need to lead with that. I think it'll come out naturally in conversation over the course of a few dates. But first, just see if you like each other. Like, do you enjoy each other's company? Keep it light, keep it interesting. Yeah, light topics. Don't go super deep. Don't overshare about your conversion story and, you know, your relationship with Jesus or your dark past or whatever. Deep stuff could come down the line. It's just about basic human connection of like on a friend basis for the first few dates, I would say. I think coming on too strong is a turnoff for most women. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay. Okay, I was just talking to my friends last night actually about this. So, but I feel like it's so true. My one friend was like, honestly, one thing that would make me interested in a guy, even if he wasn't attractive, is his ability to listen, to be receptive, and just create space for me to feel received and heard. And I think that's so true. And I think women really crave emotional connection. Guys, if you didn't know, that is huge for us, right? And I think creating space for us to feel heard, to just express how we're feeling or thinking about something, and not just to be heard, but to be understood, right? Ask follow up questions. You're not trying to solve the issue or the situation, you're just trying to listen and understand. That is huge. Kind of a safe space for sharing and being and existing and just kind of unloading a little bit. And of course, that isn't like an initial thing you would do on a first date, but like I feel like obviously if you're receptive, we'll pick up on it, and that'll just serve so well later down the line in a relationship. But a way that can look early on is being receptive, like, oh, okay, like I really don't feel comfortable like driving late at night. Being like, okay, yeah, wow, like maybe something happened or whatever. And you then take that information and you're like, huh, okay, let me plan dates earlier in the day because she is uncomfortable with traveling at night. Maybe she lives in a big city and she doesn't like traveling late because it feels unsafe. Maybe she talked about some situation she had recently where she felt scared late at night on a train or something. And you think ahead and you take that information and you change your approach to dating her or how you interact with her based off of what she said. Like that shows that you listened and you received what she said, and you didn't just like hear it, you received it, you understood it, and that's gonna speak volumes to your character and to your intentions and to just anticipating her needs and creating a dating environment that just feels comfortable and safe for her. And that is huge. It's huge because in this day and age, it's like very nerve wracking to date as a woman. Like, you don't know what you're getting into, right? You're dating a stranger most of the time. And I think creating that space where we feel received and understood and appreciated and our needs are anticipated and cared for is huge. So, I think thinking about those things. And I think you have a mom. If you have a mom or a sister, I'm sure you are more aware of how women work and anticipating their needs. But if you don't, like practice this with your friends, your female friends, or maybe extended family members. Um, and I think it'll serve you well in your dating journey. Okay, another huge thing is leadership. I know not everyone's a natural leader. Okay, I get that. And some women are more naturally leaders. And so you think, oh, I'm a chill about guy, so I don't need to be the leader. Like, there'll be a woman who will step in and wear the pants. And that could be the dynamic of your relationship for sure. But off the bat, when you're starting to date someone, you want to come off as a leader. Not that you're showing up inauthentically to yourself, but that we're all Catholic here. We're all looking for a holy marriage, and in that there are like certain dynamics that are like biologically natural and like aligned with like Catholic faith. Like the church talks about how the man is the head of the household and the woman is meant to be um like a helpmate and all of that. I'm not going to go into the super theological discussion because I know there's a lot of nuances and I'm not going to do it justice. But my point is, part of being a man is being a leader. I think it comes naturally to some more than others, but I think it's something you can work on. And I think how this shows up and how early on you can signal that you are going to be taking on that leadership role in a future family and a long-term relationship is, again, being intentional with the dates, having a plan, leading each other in grace. If you are a serious Catholic, that is like part of the Catholic faith is praying over your food. Um, so being a leader spiritually, morally, and then just like practically in the relationship, like bringing up the tough conversations, the like needed conversations in a date, like the DTR, of like determining where this is going. I think steering the boat of the relationship. Yeah, and spiritually, like, bringing up conversations of faith as you become more serious, praying together as you become more serious. Um, yeah, being a spiritual leader. And then morally, like the boundaries that are needed in a relationship, especially pertaining to Catholic Church teaching, and all of that. Like, it's a can of worms. And as a woman, in my experience of dating Catholics, I'm always the one bringing it up. I think I've run into a guy bringing it up maybe once. And that's really, really disappointing. And my brothers are super great Catholic guys, and they have led their relationships in purity and in boundaries and have established that early on. And I just think, why isn't that the bare minimum? So if you're a Catholic guy out there and maybe you don't know the teachings of the church on in dating and boundaries as far as like sexuality and all of that, there is a lot there, and you should be brushed up on that before you approach dating, because it's not just like no sex. That's not it. There's more to it, and you want to be, I think it's so attractive when a guy has his own boundaries that he holds to and he communicates in the relationship. And I think it's so important that you guys are leading in that. I don't think that's just my personal preference. I think that's, if you're Catholic and you're looking to live in virtue, that's a requirement. And maybe no one has told you that. And I know many Catholic friends who have the same frustration of having to bring it up, having to, hey, that's like steps over my boundaries. Here's the boundaries, keep resetting. Like, you need to not only communicate what the boundaries are in the relationship and what your expectations are, but also let it be an open dialogue and come to a mutual decision and then upholding that. That is your leadership. That is an example of a leadership role in the relationship that is necessary. Right? Because I've been in relationships where I'm the one holding up the line, right? And being like, hey, this is past the boundary we talked about. Like, it's a mutual thing. And as the man, you should really be taking the reins on that, right? You want to be respectful of the woman you're dating, and you shouldn't, there should be, obviously, you're human, you're tempted. I get it. But it should be mutual. And it's rare to meet a Catholic man that is taking the reins on that element of the relationship. And it is a big part of Catholic dating because we live so counterculturally in that regard. And if you're unclear what the teachings are, talk to a priest, read up on it. But going into a relationship, you should know what the church teaches are and have your own boundaries in your mind, and then be communicating that early on, and bringing up that conversation and making her feel comfortable, and heard and respected. So yeah, leadership is important, whether you feel like you're a natural leader or not. If you're dating to marry, marriage is, I'm not married, obviously, but just from talking to people and being seeing it from the outside in, there's a lot of difficult conversations, and leadership is needed by the man. And I think practicing that in dating is a good signal that you will be good at leading in the future when there is more at stake: family, well-being, you know, financial security, so many things. Anywho, that's just, I have a lot to say about that because I've been frustrated in my experience, and I just hope you guys can take that and really take it to heart. And I think you'll find it will serve you well in your dating. And women will be very happy for you to step up in that way, and I think it will bless you in your journey. Okay, and then the last two things are just being attentive and authentic. I think kind of being receptive and attentive are kind of synonymous. But attentive, as I said, like to her needs, to what she's got going on, like hear her, understand her, and adjust how you go about dating her based on the individual, right? Um, maybe she's allergic to something. Maybe she's vegan. Like, then only go to places that are vegan and like avoid her allergies. Or, if she's this has a really early mornings for work, then like don't keep her out super late. Like, being attentive and respectful of her and her needs and her boundaries, and like what she voices as like a communication style for her, or like frequency of seeing her. Like, she asks, hey, can we see each other more? Like, maybe make time for her in your schedule, work things around. It really goes a long way, showing she's a priority and that you're accommodating her into your life. Yeah, these are some things that I hope are helpful. And that's all I had basically for today. But if you guys have any thoughts or insights or comments, keep it all positive and kind here. I'm just trying to, yeah, open up a dialogue and try to like pull back the curtain a little bit for you guys so that maybe you can have some more success in your dating journey. And maybe put in the comments below, like, guys, if you're listening, things that you're looking for that maybe women wouldn't necessarily know that we could do differently, as when we're talking about going on dates and presenting ourselves in the dating pool, because I know it's difficult for both sides, and I know there could be more transparency so we really aren't missing each other as much and can get to where we are called to be in our married vocations. But I appreciate you listening, and if you like this video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you like to see future videos like this, or videos if you have video ideas for me in the future. I am happy to cover this topic. I know dating can be an exhausting topic. There's a lot of information out there, but I'm happy to give my 2 cents if that is something that is wanted and needed. And I appreciate you all being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.